No, he's not hearing.
Oh dear.
Dr. Ikomo, maybe you want to
Okay.
weigh in.
Well, I can come in here. With all due respect to Dr. Balogun, I'm one of the key, and I've been for very many years, opponents of a state police system in Nigeria. It doesn't address the problem. The problems we have right now are problems of poor governance, poor threat perception, threat analysis, vulnerability analysis, those kinds of things that have to do with protection of lives and property. Where one official is saying, oh, I think everything is fine, but we have a lot of people dying. So how does that come back to policing? How does a state policeman, for example, let's just bring it to motor park level, how does a state policeman stop a Fulani herdsman armed with AK-47? There's a problem, there's a structural problem with the security arrangement. That Fulani herdsman with the AK-47, who licensed him to carry that weapon? Nobody, I can assure you right now. Because you can't license an AK-47. It's only the president that can sign that it's a prohibited firearm, just like a pistol. Now, the Fulani herdsman, who has stopped him to say, why are you carrying this weapon? Nobody. When people see them, including law enforcement agents, they say, I don't want to go near those people. They go their own way. The Fulani herdsman, who has arrested him, I'm saying first, you ask for his bona fides. Do you have the paper? Do you have Cap 59 licensing? That's the Firearms Act licensing to carry that weapon. Now, if you are in violation of the law, have you been arrested? Has he been prosecuted, and so on and so forth? So what I'm trying to say just quickly is that the capacity, I subscribe, unfortunately, to that thing that we are going to have state wars, interstate wars in Nigeria once we have those state police. That's my own problem, and so many other problems, which I've said many times on this your set here. But I think they will not be, that's not going to solve any of the problems, not Boko Haram. I heard a lot of brain dead talk about state police solving Boko Haram, not kidnapping, not this. These are high order crimes. Look, I said Fulani herdsmen crisis is now called Fulani herdsmen terrorism, FHMT. It's even gotten an Oruko.
So,
Captain Aliu.
No, he's still not. He's not.
If I may just react to that quickly.
No, before you come, because there was something you said,
right,
which I think I should bring back. You said state police would not help, would not
the
solve this problem.
Not at all.
But he said
we have state police already. LASMA.
No.
Kai.
No,
They are state police
there are
agencies.
state police. There are state police with,
They are state police
a
agencies.
limited.
They don't have firearms. They don't
No.
have deadly force. That's the,
No, they are focused on certain
no,
aspects
but that's
of life.
policing now.
Transportation. That's LASMA. But he
Kai.
said to me about investing in this people.
That's
The federal police.
The Nigeria Police Agency.
Like we have the Lagos State Security Trust Fund,
I understand.
but they are limited in the amount of investment they can make in the federal police because hey, they could move them at
can
any
move
time.
them. Well,
so from his argument, if a state police system is created for a place like Lagos, for instance,
and it's only Lagos that can make that happen. And it's good that LSS chairman is here. It's only Lagos. What
Executive
about
Secretary.
our less endowed brothers?
Okay,
I mean, it's a fallacious argument. Lagos is the exception to governance in this country. Lagos is even better run, perhaps I might say, the risk of tripping over myself, than even the federal agency, by the federal government itself. So Lagos is an exception, and we have been very blessed in this country. One of the days we are not well blessed with Governor Tinubu or Governor Fashion, or even today Governor Ambody, or even my friend here. Do you understand? Lagos is an exception. The exception does not make the rule. What happens in my poor Edo state? What happens in Delta? You know what happens elsewhere? In the northern states where there's no IGR, Pakpa.
But do you agree that Nigeria is under-policed?
Oh, certainly. And there are dynamics, and it's under-policed, even not only from the numerical point of view, even from the qualitative point of view, from equipping point of view. There are so many, you and I have discussed this so many times here, the difficulties with the police agency. I'm writing a very big book right now on the police agency because I got tired of giving speeches and all. I'm calling it a book. Boyawamaka. So, but that's another story. The point is, yes, we are under policed. We need to, but I think what we are doing, the solution the local solution that started from the Asiwaju many years ago with Lasma and so on, those ones are working well, at least in dealing with some problems that we have on ground, problems of traffic control, order maintenance. What is policing after all? Police is about crime control and order maintenance. But everything doesn't have to get to the level of deadly force. That's what I'm saying, because when you have deadly force, I mean, you've seen quarrels among state governors that could degenerate, even this our own Lagos state and a nearby state here, which I don't want to name, that could degenerate into, in fact, interstate war. So we don't need that.
Dr.
So
let's bring
that's my problem.
Captain Ali, the question that Aleo asked you earlier has to do with state police. The argument has been back and forth. Now, we have the two guests in the Lagos studio they are on two sides of the divide. So let's get your own side on the state policing issue. Do you think it's time that conversation is returned to?
Yes, indeed. We can choose to run a... Yes, indeed. The state police is necessary, very absolutely necessary. Most of what we advance as reasons why it cannot hold are excuses. In 1960, when we were independent, Nigeria had 42 million people. 42 million people have actually proliferated to some 200 million today. Our police force, as we know it, is still trying to grapple with 200 million people policing manually. You can't do that. You cannot police 200 million people manually. You can only police 200 million people virtually. Lagos State is taking that direction as we speak. Now, what is this issue of bringing about state police? It's really very difficult for you to have a police cadet officer graduate from, say, Police College, Jos or Kaduna, and you bring him to Lagos and expect him to police people. He has no native ability of Lagos area. Policing becomes personal and a little bit more driven if people police themselves. It's easier for me to tenaciously guard my local government and ensure that no herdsman or armed robber leaves his own local government to come and kill people in mine, than if you brought me out from somewhere and you expect me to police people I have no connections with, and I'm not even having the native ability to know that area. We can shy away from state policing as much as we like, but ultimately, time will burn that mess out of us.
Okay, Dr. Balogun. The more we look at this, the more people are saying that this situation may result in more local militias coming up. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I really don't think so. I mean, as Ali has said, if you're in a system and you come out from that system or that neighborhood, it will be very difficult to harm or hurt anybody in that area. This militia thing you're talking about, as we speak today, particularly in Lagos, you have a lot of these little things called boys here and there. They know them. People walk into their homes to pick them up because they know them. If they don't know them, it will be difficult to nip or to catch them. I think, going back to this issue that we just discussed here, I think let's just look at the IRS of Lagos State as an example. Even though they are federal agents, but because they are motivated, they are well equipped, they are well everything, you can see the zeal and the results of their policing in Lagos State. So I think
Are those the ones called RoboCops?
Yes, IRS, the ones you see on the street. They are special elite force of Lagos. You don't find them anywhere.
We don't see them much anymore.
No, you see them RRS, not the ones on the bikes.
Oh, okay.
The cars you see around,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
those are
Rapid response.
rapid response squad.
Okay, okay.
So I think it's not going to lead to proliferation. It is not. It is an aberration for you not to have this kind of system. I just said it as an example. I'm not a lawyer, but you can't have somebody charged with misdemeanor and take him to a maximum prison. There has to be a state prison for such little minor offenses. So I think, and as we said, these excuses that we give, I have seen that if you kit these police officers well, if you motivate them, if you pay them promptly. For instance, there is no IRS police officer in Lagos State today that if there is a crime or there is an outbreak of anything, that they won't go headlong. Because they know that, God forbid, anything happens, they get compensated immediately. You don't even have to go and struggle for that compensation. It's there, you know. So those things are the things that we can put together.
Because Lagos is capable. That's
Yes,
what I'm
but you see,
saying.
what
And
will-
Lagos is exceptional.
But what will happen
Lagos
is-
is the seat of excellence.
But what will happen is that if
Seat of
Lagos,
excellence.
you give, I think what should happen is that you make states evolve. For instance, if Lagos, there's so many things we've done in Lagos that people have started to
Come to
emulate.
copy,
So
yeah.
what it is that if you have a state police, maybe as a pilot case in Lagos State, for instance, because that is the bedrock of Nigeria.
Gentlemen,
We have to go now. So I'd like to take your last word in one sentence only. And let me begin with Abuja. Captain Ali, your last word, please, in one sentence.
In one sentence, I say the security challenges in our country are not out of this world. The only problem we have is we keep going back the same old way, doing things the same old way, so we get the same old result. Security challenges in this country call for imagination, innovation, metacognition on the part of our security and intelligence agencies.
Thank you very much.
We can either face it in this age, or as I said, time will burn the mess out of us.
Thank you. Dr. Balogun.
I just want to ask Nigerians to continue to, support our security agencies. Despite all the hardships they go through, they're still putting down their lives to keep us safe, and that they should continue to do everything in their capacity to support the security agencies.
Dr. Ekomu.
Thank you. I have my old song, the security architecture is wrong, and it needs to be put back together. It needs to be, like Mr. Liu said, it needs to be mentally driven, it needs to be cerebral, and I think that's really where it is. The architecture is wrong. And let's just start from there, and then we'll start getting it right there from.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. We have been chatting with Captain Umar Aliyu, a security expert who joined us from our studios in Abuja, as well as two other guests who are with us in our studios in Lagos, Dr. Ona Ekomu, a security expert, as well as Dr. Abdulrazak Balogun, Executive Secretary, Lagos State Security Trust Fund. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming to share your insights with us. Sunrise will be back in just a moment with yet another interesting conversation. Make sure you're part of it.